Hello guys, Lenken here with a few tips and tricks when it comes to PvP. First of all, if you're attacking a mansion, when you're inside the mansion you cannot shield until the fight is over. So it's a really good idea for the opponents to have a few reinforcing their friend, but at the same time counterattacking the mansion that is attacking them. So they can basically zero all the other heroes inside the mansion except the main team that is fighting against a friend. With that said, tip number 2, to avoid this from happening, like here, Klinder tried to zero my team, but he entered into a mansion that was empty. And that's fairly easy to do if you have gotten zeroed once before, or once you start fighting a war that's going to take for a long time, and we're talking more than a few days, well then it's no good idea to actually try to revive your heroes. Let them die. So as you can see, I've actually lost like 2 million in power. Most of my heroes I left dead during this war, except a few. And that's of course the main team. And besides the main team, you need a few for your mansion that you always need to keep alive to be in a healthy state. Of course, you will be needing both Altine and Dr. Wolf. And talking about these two, I mentioned this once before, but this is like the most important in the entire game if you don't know this or doing this wrong. When you heal, you always start with Dr. Wolfgang, right? Like this. You go in, you heal, and you choose to, in this case, you can see it's quite expensive if I would do this, almost 2 million in moon dust, but I won't. Not until the war is over at least. But I heal, and then I will have a reduction in cost, or this will be even more expensive. And the same second I have clicked and started doing the healing, I go back in and I click again, assign a hero, and then I choose Alternate at once. You have a cooldown for like 20 seconds, then you can choose Alternate and you click again, and then you will reduce both the moon dust cost and the speed. And if you have missed this, you have lost thousands of speed tokens and hundreds of millions of moon dust. So I hope you haven't missed this, but this is fairly important to know, so I'm mentioning this again. Besides these two heroes, you need to keep only a few more alive. You will be needing Bishop to get more of those gold. If this is the one you're using, he's the best for this basically. And you use Dorian for the moon dust for the same reason, and then just 3 heroes more, and that's the ones to decrease the blood crystal and the other crystals basically. So you want Isara and you want Stamatus. So besides these heroes, you don't need anyone else. And if you do it like I did, well then you will have actually 3 teams, and that's enough. The 2 other remaining teams that would be zeroed when I do my attack, well, first of all, I need to remove them from my mansion. So I just click somewhere on the map, send them to a territory that you own, and reinforce that territory. You click and just click reinforce. So you send them away, or you send them to a mansion that is a guildies, but preferably it should be shielded, so you know that they will stay safe during the fight. And when you run away, starting fighting, you will have opponents running in, trying to counterattack, but you will have 0 heroes in your guild. You won't lose anything. So the tip then is, of course, trying to counterattack and make it timed. So just when I enter my mansion, well, that's when they could run in and try to fight me as well. And if they time this with another guild, they could zero my team. But then it's the main team we're talking about, and that will cost them more than it will cost me, basically. So it will be a fairly 50-50 state if, well, in my case, I'm strong enough to take out more waves than I will lose, since my cost will be more. This I mentioned in another video. I'm not going to mention it here, but there's some specific levels when it comes to healing. It will basically double in cost for each 25% of health that you lose. So keep in mind of that. Check that video out actually, because it's a really good video discussing when you should heal and when you should not heal. So what else do I have for tips and tricks? Well, in one of my previous fights, just yesterday, I was attacking an opponent. It was not this one, but let's say it was this one. And this opponent had attacked capital, tried to take it over. So I counterattacked, starting attacking the mansion, zeroing him out, at least doing some extra damage. Well, there's a way to counter my counter, and that's by when you see you're getting attacked and you know you can't shield and you don't want to get attacked, well, then you can actually click and choose teleport. And if you teleport your mansion, the attack from the attacker will be lost. So you gain some time to keep fighting and hopefully finish the fight. And when the fight is over, well, then you can click shield. And if they are fast and do a second attack, well, then you can do a teleport again and again and again during this fight. But that will, of course, cost you teleports. This is nothing you should do with those world teleports. At least you can do them with your guild teleports. But it's a quite fun way of counter and attack as well. See you guys.